Hey guys, welcome back to the video. Now we're just going to continue where we left off on installing the heated grips for the Gsxr 1000. Alright, so here is our wire harness. Here is the three connectors that's going to be towards the front of the bike where the hand grips are. And then here's all the cabling. We have our positive cable with a 10 amp fuse. We have a yellow cable which is going to be a fail-safe mode. And then we have our negative, which is the negative cable. That's going to go to the battery. Now what the yellow wire is going to do is that we're going to connect this obviously to the battery, but then we're going to find a spot in the fuse box to connect this to, or not even in the fuse box, somewhere on the bike. I would say we'll probably connect this to the tail light wire. Now the reason for that is that's a fail-safe. So in case something were to happen, or if it noticed that the voltage is getting too low, that's going to prevent your system from malfunctioning and actually won't allow you to use the system, which is good because in case the battery gets too low, or if it's you don't want it to drain your battery completely or whatnot, or if, say you forgot to turn off your heated grips, if we didn't connect this wire, as soon as you turn your key off, it turns off the whole system anyway. So good thing to have this wire. So first things now, next thing we need to do is we need to get access to the battery, and to get to the battery is going to be underneath the seat. So we're going to go ahead and remove this panel. It's going to be a 4mm screw over here on this side, and then we're going to go ahead and pop it out and get to our battery. Once we remove this panel on both sides, it's going to be a 5mm screw on this end, and on the other end, go ahead and remove all the screws, and then we're going to get access to the battery. Okay, now that we got all the screws removed, let's go ahead and remove our seat and put the seat off to the side. All right, now we are exposed to the battery. As you can see, I have a lot going on for my battery pack because I have so much stuff installed onto the Gsxr. You may not have any of this stuff installed, and you're just gonna have access to the battery. It'll be a lot more cleaner than what I got. All right, so to get access to the battery here, we have our negative here, a positive there. It's gonna be with a 10mm socket, so go ahead and loosen up your post. And we're just gonna loosen it up a little bit so we can slide our connector in. Once we have it slid in, we're gonna go ahead and tighten it. So do that for both sides of the battery. Okay, I have to backtrack a little bit there. It's kind of got ahead of myself on telling you where to connect it for the battery. We do need to run the cables, which is also the most important part. All right, so besides that, we are gonna have to access a accessory cable. As you can see, I got some cables. Gonna get your key. Gonna remove the passenger side seat. Then after that, or before that, we also need to lift up the tank so we can route the wires. So you're gonna see there's two screws, one here and one over here on that side, and it's going to be with a 5mm Allen key. So get those two screws removed, and we're gonna go ahead and lift up our tank. Now as you see, I do have my fuel tank propped up, and if you're wondering about the prop guard that I'm using, it's just pretty much a rod that I got from the hardware store. Just cut it to the length that I need it for, and then now I have a prop guard for my gas tank. You could also buy a prop guard. I'll have probably a picture or a part number here for you if you want to get the proper Suzuki one. All right, so now that we got that up, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna route our cables. Now if you look over here, there are two pockets, and these are also gonna come out through here. There's gonna be an access port through the frame to get to this port. Same thing with this side, a hole that's going to go through here. For me, I do have other equipment installed, so I have all my cables here. This is mainly my light stuff that I have, but this port or this whole pocket area, I have it free. So I'm going to route the cables through the frame here and have it come out through here, and then kind of route it through here, this side, and go that way. Or honestly, guys, I may probably go on this side. Might be a little bit less cluttered on this side. Let me show you over here on this side. Here's the hole that I'm talking about. So I'm going to route the cables through here, have it come out through here, around here, over here, and then out to the battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You guys do the same. Just be mindful of where you're putting the cables, and then if you can, zip tie them nice and neat and away from other areas that may pinch or whatnot. All right, as you can see, I have the cables all right here for now. Here's the cables right there going in through the pocket like I was telling you about. Through here, comes out through over here. There's the cable. Have it running along here. I found a spot to attach a zip tie, which is right there. There's a zip tie. Have it running into this bracket up through here, around there, and then I have it zip tied over here to some other cables that I got coming out through here, and this is where we're at now. So now that pretty much this part over here is already set, now I'm going to go ahead and put the tank back down, and then that's going to give us access to kind of route the cables through here. Alrighty guys, so I already put the tank down. Now let me show you the rest of the routing of the cabling. So now I have the cable coming out through over here. So it's through this area right here. Here is the cable right there. And then I have it kind of going alongside here. I tucked it inside of this fairing panel right here, kind of going over here. And then this is where we're at right now. So now this is the part where you're going to want to connect to the battery. And then this part we're going to connect over towards the back end of the tail area. So we're not going to worry about that right now. But we are going, so we have our little C-clips already. With a 10mm socket, we're going to go ahead and loosen up the terminals for the battery. And we're just going to loosen it. We're not going to completely remove the bolt because we don't have to. Once we loosen it, we're going to go ahead and just slide this connector in and then just tighten down the bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for both the negative and the positive. And then as far as for myself and for you guys as well, the fuse is going to, I'll have it tucked away right in this area. So it'll pretty much look like this once I'm done. I'm just going to kind of tuck it away in this little pocket. So if anything were to ever happen, I could just remove my seat and I'll know that the fuse is pretty much right here, easily accessible. Okay, I already got everything already connected with the positive and negative cables. Now we're going to be going and connecting the yellow cable. Now for me, I did have to extend the yellow cable. So I just pretty much just placed the wires, wrapped them and heat shrink them to use a heat shrink tube to put the wires together. Nothing's really special there. All right, so next what we're going to do is we need to wire that yellow cable. What we're going to do is we're going to get to our passenger side seat, which is right here. Let's grab our key, get our passenger seat off, and we are going to connect that yellow cable to, I would say, probably the tail light. This is just a signal cable. So if you were to forget to turn off your heated grips, as soon as you turn the key to turn off your bike, the whole system will shut down, therefore not draining your battery. So that's what this cable is going to be doing. All right, so let me go to the other side. Let's look for the tail light cable so we get attached to it. Okay, so here we are in the tail light or the tail end area. Now the tail light cable, if you go where here's your tail light and here's the rubber grommet for where all the cables are coming out, you can see it comes out here and here is the wire set. Now the only problem is because look how you can't even get your finger in there. So in order for us to get to that cabling that we need to do, we're gonna have to, well, you guessed it, remove a bunch of screws and paneling to get to that area because the cable wire is more towards this area. So to remove this, we're gonna have a 5mm Allen key to remove a screw here, 4mm Allen key over here, then our plastic pry tool to remove these two clips because we have to remove this piece off. Then after that, going to be a 4mm Allen key over here, and then after that, this whole thing will pop off. So let's go ahead and do that. As I didn't know that, well, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, not only you have to remove all that, then there's going to be two pins or two little tabs right over here. I already removed it, but one here and one over here. So go ahead and remove all those. Pry tool that you're going to be using for that is going to be this guy. So you would just put it in there, and then you use this little fork part to pop it out. Alrighty guys, now we got the panel pretty much off of the bike a little bit. Now so we could get access to that tail light cable and get to the cable. So if I were to look towards the top, much put my finger on it. Okay, the cable is right here for me. So for you guys, just make sure you track the cable where it's at, and it's right here. So what we're gonna do right now is we are going to cut the sleeve a little bit so we could get access to the tail light. So while I go ahead and cut the casing, you guys do the same as well, and then therefore we'll be able to get access to the cable. I'll let you know which one it is so we could actually tap into it. And what we're going to use to tap into it is going to be a posi tap. I'll show you in a second how that's going to work. Okay, I already cut the casing. Now the cable that we're going to be tapping into is going to be a full gray color. Now inside you're going to see a white, I know it's kind of hard to see with the camera, but it's going to be a white with a blue stripe. Then there's going to be a black with a gray and red stripes in there. Then a full gray stripe. So that's the one we're going to get to, is going to be this guy right here. Okay, so you can see that one with the red. I mean, there's like little red dots or something on it and the gray, but the one underneath it is all fully gray, and that's the one we're going to tap into. Okay, so here is our posi tap. Now how to use this is we're going to unscrew the gray part, and if you see in the gray part there is a slit right here, and that's where the cable is going to go into. So let me go ahead and take that. Sorry for the unfocusing over there. So we're going to grab our gray cable, which is right over here. We're going to grab the gray cap, and we're just going to slide it, have the cable slide into that little slit in the cap. Okay, I'm going to go right there. So that's how it pretty much looks like that. Okay, now that we got that part, now we're going to go ahead and screw this back in its place. You want to make sure that when you put it in or screw it back on that it is straight and even. You don't want it to have it crooked. If it's crooked, just unscrew it and screw it back in. Okay, and don't go too crazy because you could actually snap the cable. Just, nice firm, hand tight. Okay, so now that we have this part like this, we're going to go ahead and unscrew the top part, which is the red part, unscrew that all the way. And then we're going to grab our cable, which is right here. Apparently I didn't have to extend it that much more further. And I spliced the cable just a little bit to reveal a little bit of the cable, the wire on the inside. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that and we're going to twist the end of that. So once it's twisted like this, we're going to grab our little cap and we're going to slide it in. Okay, now we're on this side. Okay, and then when we put it back in, we want to have it like this much when putting it back in here, and then we're going to go ahead and screw it in. At the same time, kind of holding the cable so it doesn't come right back out. Give it a nice little tightness, and then just go ahead and pull on the cable a little bit. If it comes out, just redo the process. But as you can see, it's pretty on there, really good. All right, so right now I'm going to go ahead and zip tie all of the wires and stuff like that, so it's a little bit more neater and not so messy. So just go ahead and put some zip ties around. Just get everything nice and situated, and then put back your side panel. Okay, I just kind of wanted to show you the all the zip tying and everything that I did for the wires. As you can see, everything is looking good and nice and neat, and that's what you want to do as well. I even put a zip tie over here to hold the cable down. Alright, so now that I got already all that down, now it's time to go ahead and put the side fairing back in place and put all the screws and everything all back in its spot. Okay, we are pretty much done with this whole area. Now the only thing that's left to do is go towards the front and connect the heated grips to the cables, and then that's it. So as of right now, we could go ahead and put back our passenger side seat and our main rider seat. And don't forget to put the bolts in on each side for the driver's seat, and then we could also put our fairings back in on both sides. All right, now that we got everything in the back situated, now it's time to get to the cables and get them plugged in. As you can see, we got our two cables here. One is for the grip and the other one is for the little control unit. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and put some zip ties really, and kind of zip tie, make it everything nice and somewhat neat. But we are going to get the little main harness cable, which is over on this side. So let me go ahead and kind of get everything a little bit more situated, and then we are going to start plugging in everything. So you guys do the same on this part with the, at least, zip tying the wires together. Okay, I already got pretty much everything already zip tied together, really, as you can see, all the way up to right there. All right, so next we're gonna do is we're just gonna pretty much follow any wiring that we have going on over here, and again add more zip ties. Let me show you on this side to kind of make sure that everything is nice and neat. Now you also want to make sure that the cables are not going to be tugged in any way once we do connect it to the other connectors. So I'm going to go ahead, grab this cable, and then I have some other wires here. If not, you have some other stock cables that you could kind of zip tie them to. So that's what I'm going to do over here until we get to kind of the main center part over there where the gauge cluster is, and that's where the main wire harness is at. So let's go mobile real quick so I can show you that part real quick. All right, so I'm going to wire all the wires right here and also zip tie them so they are nice and neat. And now here is the main wire harness. Now we are going to start connecting everything, but let me go ahead and do that, and then you guys do the same. And then also for the throttle side, you want to make sure that you start zip tying the cables over there. So let's go over there real quick so you guys can see that this is the part that's going to be moving. So you want to make sure that when you start zip tying the cable, that this part moves freely. You don't want any binding or any tightness of this cable or pulling. So I attached the cable here, and I already put the zip tie, and I pulled enough cable so it's, you could see like it moves freely without any pulling. It looks like it's pulling here, but it's actually loose. So that's what you guys want. So make sure you pull enough, then put a zip tie, then I put another zip tie over here, and this is pretty much where I'm at right there for now. And here is the cable for this side. And then we're just going to go put over there with the harness. But let me go ahead and zip tie the other side, and then I'll show you what to do next. Guys, I already got everything zip tied. Now this is where pretty much we're about to connect all of the heated grips and the controller. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the main harness here. Now let me show you real quick with the main harness. You could see that there is two, I would say, females and one male connector. So you guys could see it's going to be one male connector and two females. Now these are the parts for the heated grip part. It doesn't matter if whatever you connect, if this is the left side or the right side or left side or right side, it doesn't really matter. This is the part for the power, and this is where it's only one connector that goes here. And yeah, so that's pretty much self-explanatory there. And then for your cables, as you could see over here on the main part, this is the left side with the throttle side, or no, this is the non-throttle side. And you could see on this side we have the one, this is the grip, and this is the main power. And then on the other side, which is the throttle side, is only one cable, and this is going to be, it just plugs into that one spot. So again, this is the part, from the cables that are coming from the grips. All right, so you could, like I said, you could only plug them in one way. So I'm going to go ahead and plug everything, and then we are going to try to neatly, put the cabling in this area, right in this pocket area, as that's really mainly the only spot that we could actually put the wires. So let's go ahead and get started on that part. To quite some time to get everything situated, but as you can see, all the wires, you couldn't even tell if what I have on here, you know, aftermarket. Well, obviously this part, because that's for my lights and stuff, but everything came out really good. And then over here, I decided to make it look pretty cool over here in this department with the connectors. So I just have the connectors there, and what I did to make that happen is I put the cables all together, zip tied right there on both ends, but then I also installed anchor points over here on the side. So you could see one anchor point right there with a zip tie, and then same thing on the other end, the anchor point right here. So right over here is an anchor point, and then I also put an anchor point right there to kind of hold the cables, you know, neatly and out of the way. So far it's looking good. And then obviously from the top, you know, it looks pretty cool, having it all nice and neat. All right, so after you made sure so after you already zip tied everything, just make sure that you twist your handlebars left and right, and make sure there's no binding anywhere and that there's no pulling on the cables. Okay, so now all that's left to do is to put our stock bar ends back in place. Now before we do that, we want to make sure that we put some thread lock on the screws. We're over here at the bench, and like I said, we're going to put our bar ends back in. But if you didn't want to put the bar ends back in, like I said, they do give you these little caps. It's up to you if you want to put these on. If you wanted to put them on, let's go ahead and grab this one and go over here. I'm not even sure it will fit with this with the Gsxr. Actually, this one will. That flat one will not, but this one will. So all I have to do is just kind of stretch out the rubber and kind of just get that rubber over the lip of the plastic. And then that's pretty much how it would look like if you were to do that piece. Let me go ahead and really situate it in there so you guys could see it clearly on how it would be on there. Okay, I did the best I could of trying to actually put that little cap on there. Again, it's just pretty much the rubber part going over the lip of this aluminum bar end piece, and that's the only thing that's actually holding it in place. It would be totally up to you, and I probably would recommend putting a little bit of glue on the lip part. Let's go get the other one so I can show you what I'm talking about. Pretty much the best focusing I could do. So like I said, a little bit of glue over here in that little lip area all the way around, and then going ahead and putting it into the rubber end of the grip. After the glue dries, obviously, it would hold it better in place. Now that's for that. And unfortunately, these little cap guys, they would not fit because of that part that sticks out more, so this will be your better bet. If you're a bar end over here, let's go over to the bike. Now on this side, you could see that that metal part doesn't stick out, and it's because we have the controller on. If we didn't have the, you know, so if your end of your grip looks like this, then yes, you could put this particular cap in place, and it would be like that. And then from the top view, it would look like this. And then again, you probably would also want to put a little bit of glue on this outer of the lip right there. That way, it has no chance of really kind of flying out or whatnot. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and put my bar ends back on. Here's a blue thread lock that I'll be putting on the threads of the bar ends before installing them back on the bike. Okay, everything is pretty much done. The bar ends are already on and installed. The throttle snaps in place, so that's good, because you don't want nothing to like hold it in place, because that could cause an accident. So that's working good. All right, so next thing is to turn on the bike, and let's I'm not going to start the bike, but I'm going to turn it on so you guys could see the little light sequence it does when you actually turn it on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the key. I'm going to make sure that the kill switch is on. All right, here we go. All right, so that's a little light sequence, and it is off. To turn it on, I'm just going to go ahead and press the button. So you get all the indicators are on, showing that it's all the way to the highest. If you push it, it turns off. Push it again, it's low, and it goes to green. So, and you can see there's indicators on the side alongside the top side. So I'll just go ahead and show you this side part there. Every time you press it, the intensity of the heat will rise. And then I think the last one is maximum heat. You can see it blinked right now and it's flashing. I'm doing this because that the battery voltage is at a low level, so it actually shut off. So safety feature of this system, so that way it doesn't completely drain your battery. So this is kind of just giving you an indication, letting you know that the battery is low, which it is, because at this point I'm at under 12 volts, so I do need to charge my battery. To shut it off, you just got to hold down the button, but it's not going to do that because it's letting me know that the battery is low. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the key. Okay, I already charged up the battery, so I'm just going to go ahead and just turn the key. You can see it does its little light sequence. Whatever you had set it on last, next time you turn on the bike, that's where it's going to go to. So, and then when you press, once it reaches the end and you press it again, that's when it turns off. Then every time you press it, it just goes up one notch, or one light. And then to turn it off, say you had it at maybe like here, and you don't want to have the system on anymore, just go ahead and long press it, and it turns off by itself. And then once you turn off the key, obviously that's really going to turn off the system. And then when you turn it back on, it's going to do its light sequence. And like I said, it remembers the last setting you had it on, and it stays on that setting. Alrighty guys, so that's pretty much going to be it. I was going to do a temperature thing, but instead I did a little chart, and I'm going to post the chart right here on the, so you guys could look at it, and you guys could see the temperatures and how long it takes to get to a certain temperature. I'll leave it up here for a little while so you guys could take a look at it. But I would say it's pretty accurate. You know, again, it might vary by a little bit. You know, obviously you're out there riding. You know, it's going to get hot, you know, a lot warmer faster when you're out riding compared to when I did the test. It was in the garage, and, you know, it's just at idle. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video now. I'm just going to go ahead and turn this on, let it go through its little light sequence. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please smash that like button. If you didn't like the video, smash the dislike button. Let me know down below why you disliked about the video. And if you know anyone else that has a Gsxr or any bike for that matter, please share this video. And while you're down there, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you guys are up to date with my latest installations and videos. And I hope you guys enjoy this type of content. And I'll hopefully catch you guys on the next one. Alrighty guys, take care. I appreciate everybody for watching my videos.